Hello, I'm Toycat and welcome back to the video. Today I'm sharing some ideas I have for Minecraft, because I'm sure a lot of you must be the same way as me, where, you're playing Minecraft and you suddenly think to yourself, wouldn't this be way cooler if this was like this, for instance, and, you think to yourself, wouldn't that be quite a cool idea? And today what I figured I'd do is I'd go through 5 of my favourite ideas that I've had over some time to kind of share features that I think would massively improve Minecraft. Maybe a developer sees them, but either way, I just wanted to get these out into the world, and hopefully you do all enjoy today's video. If you do, like the video and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot, and let us know you do like the video. And in fact, Cat says it, as you can see on the screen there. But yeah, with that said, let's get straight into it, really, shall we? And let's start by talking about the first of the ideas, which does involve us being in the Nether. We're not just here for random reasons, and it is actually a new type of Nether structure, because right now, all you find in the Nether is Nether fortresses, and although that's cool, wouldn't it be awesome if there was a rare chance of spawning a Nether village? So you can see, here's my rough design for a Nether village. It's like a regular village, except, it's all made from Nether brick. So the cool thing about this is you could find a bunch of zombie pigmen here, and it'd have the cool effect of, one, if you want to find zombie pigmen, you go to these places, but two, it could just be a bunch of cool structures you find out in the middle of nowhere, and maybe you give zombie pigmen an extra use too. I don't know, I just love the idea of like, oh, you can find your Nether wart here, because there's farms here, of course. I love the idea of, oh, you find a bunch of zombie pigmen. If you want to attack a whole group because you want to, farm them, but without, actually having a real farm, you can do it that way. And just also an awesome thing to find every now and then as a rare little find. I think it'd be great, and that is my first idea that I think could improve Minecraft. But let's move into the second one here, shall we? By going for our weirdly broken Nether portal. Weird little console bug. But let's move into the second idea, which is something that I think would be really, really useful for people who like the hard kind of creative thing, because it's based on a Pocket Edition feature, which, if you don't know, when you fill a cauldron on the Pocket Edition, you can actually dye that cauldron. And wouldn't it be cool if you could do that with water? So here's the loosest simulation I can make. Here's what it would look like if you could dye water pink or dye water yellow. But I think what would be way cooler than even dyeing water is being able to dye milk, because right now water kind of exists in its own separate way. What if milk buckets, which right now only really exist as like an anti-poison, what if you could actually spill milk onto the floor? So you left trigger, it goes on the floor and it spills everywhere, but then you could dye that. So if you wanted to have a pink fluid going somewhere, you could totally do that. If you wanted to have a yellow fluid, you could do it that way, and it'd be really awesome to, one, have another dyeable feature. I think, the more things that you add to let people customize, the better, but two, to have the first kind of like moving dyed color, and yeah, dyeable liquids would be pretty cool, whether it's water or whether it's dyed milk, which, yeah, I don't know, dyed milk sounds so ridiculous, but I really do love the idea. I would love to see it either way. So let's move on to the third idea here, which is kind of one that's for creative only more than any real survival stuff, because it's one that in my head is just like, yeah, I wish it was that way, because basically there should be a way of having like biome buckets or like a biome tool for in the actual game itself, because right now, even on the PC, if you want to like have a composition of biomes in a super flat world or a customized world, you have to go through some crazy filters, and even then, you're not going to get the perfect world you want. But what if you want to have, say, a map that's 50-50 down the middle, and one half is, snow biome, one half is, let's say, extreme hills? You can't do that in any real way besides building it yourself in a massively arduous task, and even then, it's not going to be a true extreme hill or a true snow biome. What if there was like a bucket tool? So imagine this is my snow bucket, and you can place that around, and you can make it a real tiger biome with real, chance of spawning all the stuff there, like the polar bears. What if you could actually have all of that happen inside the game itself? I would really love that. This is the only one you can really do by using bone meal, but I'd love it to be able to make mountains out of the ground using a tool, and there should be some, maybe creative only, maybe, cheats only. You have to give yourself the tool, like a command block, but I'd love to see some way of making the biomes inside the game itself, because right now, people use MC Edit, and they added the structure block to let you copy and paste, but I'd love to see something going a step further, where you can kind of make the biomes a bit more than that. But yeah, that is my next suggestion here. I'd love to see something a bit more than just, oh yeah, what you can do right now is you can, you can kind of preset the world that way, but once you're in the world, you have to build it by hand. I'd love to see something a bit more than that, where you can make your own tiger biome, your own extreme hill, your own savanna, by just, planting it on the ground using, again, I'm going to call it a biome bucket, but it could be anything of that sort. So yeah, that is my third idea right here, and it moves us nicely into the fourth idea, which is another one that, to be fair, is actually, I guess, the exact opposite, because it's for more survival players. So yeah, this is one I've kind of complained about for a while now, because Silk Touch doesn't actually have any use on swords, and getting it on there is like a whole mess in the first place. But yeah, Silk Touch on swords doesn't have any use, but there's one use that makes so much sense, and that's by using, let's say, we kill a zombie right here. Yo, I wanted a big zombie, but okay, both types of zombies, but when you kill a zombie with a Silk Touch sword, or when you kill any mob with a Silk Touch sword, you should get a spawn egg for that mob. I think that would be the coolest thing, because one, it means Silk Touch swords have a use again, and you don't have to just use them as like, oh yeah, they're kind of like a weird way of doing this. But second of all, it'd be a really awesome way to get spawn eggs in survival, because it's kind of late game, so not everyone's going to have them. But then if you want to make something that spawns in a creeper, you can do that. If you want to have something that spawns in chickens, not chickens, bad example, but you want to have something that spawns in cows, that'd be a cool thing. And I'd love for some way to be able to do that, because again, it's another form of loot that also adds something that only creative players can have for survival in a way that really makes sense for everyone. So yeah, Silk Touch should totally give you spawn eggs when you kill something. I would love that, And I think it's one of those things that could make it into the game, because as soon as someone hears it, it sounds kind of logical, right? At least for me it does. But yeah, that is my next idea. You should get a spawn egg when you kill a thing with a silk touch sword. So yeah, that's going to move us nicely into my final idea here, which is one that they almost put in the game in the first place, but then kind of backed out of and changed the current system, because it's to do with potions. So right now, potions are a really linear system. There's this many potions in the game, and then if you want to get more potions, they're kind of all variations of either the slowness or this or that. But I would love to see a system where you kind of get combined potions, you kind of get weird potions, and you get the rest of the stats effects as potions. So right now, the brewing system is limited because it really just works by having, you put in, a potion with benevolent. I think it's an awkward potion. If you put an awkward potion in with sugar, you're going to get a speed potion. If you put an awkward potion in with, blaze powder, you're going to get a strength potion. I'd love to see a system which is way more complex, which has thousands of combinations, and which means that you can't remember every single one of them, but you can remember your favorites. So for instance, I might remember that, okay, I've got a night vision potion. If you then add, golden apple to the night vision potion, what it's going to do is it's going to give it night vision and health. So if you want to have both those things at the same time, you can do it that way. Or you could have something like, okay, you take a water bottle, you put it in there. Okay, I've got a milk bucket. This is close enough to a water bottle. You put it in there with some melon seeds. You put it in there with a ghast tear. Then that gives you a potion which gives you extra regeneration. Let's say regeneration 2, but it also gives you slowness. It's like a vegan potion or something like that. I'd love to see potions that have upsides and downsides, and I'd even like it even more if all potions had some form of upsides, some form of downside, to kind of make the system less boring than like, this is speed 2, you drink this to go faster. I'd love to see a system more like, okay, this is speed 2, night vision, healing, but also it comes with, slight poison, it comes with a tiny bit of, a tiny bit of this, a tiny bit of that, and it'd mean that the potion system would be more varied. Maybe it's a bit too complex for Minecraft, but a lot of you, when I mentioned in the video, that's how it used to be, said you'd love to see that system too, and I'd love to at least see some hybrid system. So maybe you do have the current system where you put blaze powder in, you get a strength potion, but then you can put a second ingredient in, and you get a wacky potion. So you put a night vision potion in there, then you put in melon seeds, for instance, and that might give you poison, it might give you regeneration, something like that. I'd love to see some wild cards in the potion, just to kind of make the recipes a bit more fun, but that's just me personally. I think Minecraft should be about creativity and more fun, and that's why I like the idea of, having a different potion system, the idea of being able to get spawn eggs in survival, so you can do more stuff, being able to make your own biomes if you're in creative, so you can make some more awesome maps, or being able to have dyed water, or being able to have new villages. It's all about having more Minecraft to play around with, and hopefully, regardless of what does come in the future, something along those lines happens. I hope they do keep focusing on more Minecraft to do, because they're the sorts of things that I think everyone can love and everyone can get behind. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you hated any of these ideas, let me know with that or a dislike, and if you liked any of these ideas, let me know with a like, because it does help out the channel. It does, let me know you do like it, and it's a good way of letting me know that, yeah, you agree with some of these things, or, I don't know, maybe it just lets me know that you like me. That's nice of you. But no seriousness, hopefully you did all enjoy today's video, because I will see you all in the next one. I didn't mean to hit you, Jim. My bad. Goodbye, everyone.